Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Saltcast. I am your host, Alex. I'm here with Sebastian and Bert, as always.
Welcome back.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, the movies in particular. We're going to go through the first two Sonic movies, since the third one is coming out soon, and we just watched Knuckles recently, so it's a little bit more relevant right now in preparation for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yay.
So we're gonna...
Hopefully it's not like Knuckles.
Yeah, hopefully it is much
right.
better than that.
Now, where's the perfect place to start for the Sonic movies? I actually know. The perfect place is to talk about, do you guys remember the original Sonic design?
The rat-looking one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That thing that looked like it was on meth.
What a massive save it was, switching that.
Yeah,
The
honestly.
fact that that thing ever even existed is kind of crazy.
I don't think Sonic, like the movie, would have succeeded if it looked the same. I don't think people would have liked it as much.
I don't.
I actually think a lot of people still would have gone, at least the first one, maybe we wouldn't have gotten a sequel, but a lot of people would have still saw it just because they'd be like, this is crazy. I can't believe it looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
I agree.
big win. That was crazy. I remember seeing that when like the trailers came out, and people were like, "Hey, look at the Sonic trailer," and I was like, It was back in the times when video game movies were guaranteed trash. Like everyone, like, I'm thinking back. Like, I guess probably the first Sonic movie is really the one that started the trend of recent video game stuff being good. Unless I'm missing something in memory that was before that. Like, there was one-offs occasionally that were all right, but Sonic started like the streak, you know?
Yeah, I think Sonic was the first like actually successful one. Versus
In
I
like
think
recent
so.
times,
Minor
yeah. Yeah, probably in more recent memory, it was one of the more successful ones.
Yeah, but it's like definitely the one I think that that started the like change in opinion where they're not just always bad. Because these days, if something's announced that's a game thing, it's kind of like a 50-50 now instead of a guaranteed trash.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember when that trailer came out and I was like, it's going to be bad. It's a video game movie. And then I saw like an image of him and I was like, wow, that looks terrible.
It's going to be even more than bad.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be like one of those like Mortal Kombat movie level bads. The bad ones.
Forgot about those.
Even
And
I was gonna say even the modern Mortal Kombat movie's not that good.
at least it's watchable.
Yeah, I guess.
And then I don't know how much later I heard, hey, they actually changed it. That's crazy. Like that trailer is like impossible to find now, except for like just people filming screens with their phone or something like that. The original Sonic trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably did a good job trying to bury it.
He completely disappeared. I couldn't believe that they changed it though. I was like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Me neither. I was surprised. That almost never happens in movies. Like when you're that far into development and you've already got like your first trailer out, like that almost never happens.
Well, they
To
got
scrap
so
the
hated.
entire design of your main character.
Hey, but it was a good move though.
It was a great move.
Because even if it like bodied them on profit for the first movie, it gave them a franchise that they can benefit off of now after taking that blow.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways,
Imagine what Knuckles and stuff would have looked like in Tails if they didn't fix
they
Sonic.
never would have existed. They never would have made it in.
Just for fun, they should create like a alternate universe where those characters did exist. Like that Sonic is the main Sonic, and then we could just to see what the other ones would look like.
Well, that Sonic returned for that one movie, remember?
Oh yeah, it was like a
The Chip and Dale thing?
yeah. I forget what that movie was called.
That was funny that he returned.
Yeah.
But
Should have left him dead.
man, that whole situation is crazy. Like, that's insane. Hopefully they do that listening to people again and don't make another Knuckles show.
Yeah.
Honestly, one can hope.
Or make it without Wade.
You never know.
Anything. Make everything without
Make it
Wade,
about
please.
Knuckles instead of about Wade.
Freaking hate
True.
Wade.
Man, you know what's crazy? I don't know if you guys have looked into it, but apparently people like that show.
No way.
IGN gave it a 7.
That doesn't mean anything.
They're wrong about everything.
They also give everything a 7. I guess that just confirms it if Knuckles got a 7.
That's ridiculous. What do we give? I gave that a 3, I think.
Yeah, me
I
too.
did 4. 4.5.
I was gonna give it a 4, but then I was like, man, is there like I'm like, the best thing I'm saying about it is good thing they didn't ruin Knuckles. So I'm like, it can't be a 4.
Yeah. And there was times where it
crazy.
made me laugh.
The only like reason of like, even though I would disagree with it, like the highest I could see it getting is a 5 because you're like, oh my stupid kid liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only reason I would even think about it. Going any higher, at least.
Yeah. So 7, wild. I think that they're just like, people like the first 2, so we'll just give this a 7. We didn't really like it, but 7 is pretty good, and then no one will be mad.
Yeah. It's not upset anyone.
IGN sucks. I don't know, like, it would be cool if there was one that was actually good of those, like, big outlets, especially since they always get, like, the cool shit shown to them and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're the main one. They just get
I
everything
think they
because they
get
have
the
the
cool
money to
stuff
throw it.
shown. I think if they get the cool stuff shown to them because they always like spew goodness to it, that it's a safe bet. Versus
Yeah,
if you were to
probably.
show a product to someone and be like, if they were to be brutally honest and you're not confident in that product, it could ruin it
No, I mean,
before it comes out.
that's definitely why, but it still sucks.
Yeah.
IGN stuff is just so... The only IGN stuff worth watching is when they're given, like, the... Here's our 15-minute gameplay preview that they gave us.
And then it's them not even knowing how to play the game.
Yeah. Gosh, do you guys remember the Doom one? That was crazy.
That was a
Yeah.
good one.
Anyways, though, to the actual movie now. The first one. Honestly, the first one is just decent. It's good. It's not, like, amazing. It's not bad. But it's like
It's a good start.
A fun movie.
Yeah, it's a good start to the franchise. It keeps everything kind of like interesting and fresh enough to where you're able to like get on board with everything. They don't absolutely butcher the entire thing.
And they don't
Like
throw a
some
bunch of stuff at
franchises.
you.
Yeah, that too. But I like the first movie. It's like one of those movies where you can kind of go in and not really have to think too much and just kind of enjoy it for what it is. There's nothing like groundbreaking about it, but I think the best thing that the Sonic movies do is they really like stick close to how you would think of Sonic from like the video games if you've ever played it. Like it feels like you're watching a Sonic video game kind of play out in some ways, like with the main characters like Sonic and Eggman and that kind of thing.
I think almost. I think not that it's a problem, but I think he seems a bit younger in the movie, at least the first one, than he does in the games. But I think that's kind of like, at least from what I'm hoping, is like what leads to him meeting Shadow and then like becoming older Sonic.
Yeah, I could see that.
But we'll have to see. I do agree though that like most of it is pretty good though. The only thing about this is actually all of the Sonic movies, huge lack of Sonic music in them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that.
I remember
It's a
you
shame
saying
because
that
the
at the
music's
time.
good. I like the
Yeah,
Sonic music.
even especially like the easy ones, right? Like just like the main menu themes or like the Green Hill themes, like just like you think I think there's one point in the second movie where someone's phone rings and it's a Sonic song, but like
I don't even remember.
should've-
I wouldn't even know the Sonic songs and soundtracks well enough to recognize them, I don't think.
you know the do 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 do
No.
do 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 do. That's like the classic Sonic song. Well, anyways, the good news is though, Crush 40 is on the list of like music and people involved in movie 3, which is so exciting.
That is good. I like Crush 40.
They're the Live and Learn guys. They're the Open Your Heart guys. All Hail Shadow guys. They're the pretty much every of the got legendary songs from the 3D Sonic games. But I do think they still need to get more 2D Sonic music in there.
Yeah. I'm sure it would help a little bit. Make it for fans of that kind of thing. Never really bothered me.
I mean, some of it they kind of can't do because I don't know if you guys know the Sonic history, but Sonic 3 is like Sonic and Knuckles is what it's actually called, but it's Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles is like legendary for being like legendary for its music because a lot of its music was made by Michael Jackson.
I didn't
Really?
know that.
I did not.
Yeah. That's why like every time that's why there's like a huge like thing with the games where like every time they've remade it, it doesn't have the original music because they don't have the license to this Michael Jackson music anymore. So everyone's like always like emulate the original, it's better.
That is interesting.
So Sonic 3, fire music.
Hopefully.
I don't see them. If they can't even get it in the games anymore, I doubt that those songs would be in the movies.
Maybe they'll make new songs that are good, or hopefully good.
Yeah.
Yeah, an original score would be pretty sick.
I mean, the Crush 40 songs are my favorite of the Sonic series, so I'm feeling like movie 3 is going to be so exciting. Live and Learn has to play. With Shadow being there, it has to play.
It'd be a shame if they don't play it.
They even have the guitar riff from Live and Learn in the teaser trailer of Sonic Movie 3. It has to play. Otherwise, that's like the biggest tease ever, you know?
If it's in there, it's gonna play.
What'd you say, Bert?
Would it be the first time they've done something like that, though? Or at
That's
least
true. In Sonic Movie 2, they had the, I think it was like the intro song of Sonic 2 of like Tails. And that was not in the movie, and it was in like the teaser trailer.
All right. Do you want to
anyways-
get into like the actual movie now of the first one?
Yeah,
the
so
story.
basically, the story is pretty simple. Sonic is little Sonic, and this stuff is, at least as far as I know, it doesn't happen in any of the games. Maybe it's like a comic thing or something, but I don't think so. He like lives with a bunch of owls.
I thought this was super interesting when it was happening in the movie, and even now after Sonic 2 and the Knuckles show and stuff. That's like one of the most interesting parts of this Sonic movie universe.
Yeah, I actually think it's pretty cool too, which is crazy since it's something that is not in the games. He like lives with it's just him, and he lives with this owl, Longclaw. And basically, he just runs around his Sonic world, which is like the world we know from the games. It looks like Green Hills or something like that.
their interpretation.
And he just runs around and has fun. He gets home, and his owl is like, "Hey, you got to be careful out there. Can't let people see how you have like crazy powers." Turns out, though, allegedly, Sonic has led these warriors back to their home, and he needs to evacuate. So Longclaw gives him some rings that are like teleportation rings, and sends him off to Earth and probably dies.
It's implied, yeah. And she was shot too at some point.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, like that's probably one of the like biggest emotional moments of the first movie.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you
Like,
kind of feel bad for Sonic. He's just a baby, pretty much. He's like a little kid.
Yeah, he's so tiny.
Poor little guy.
I'm really glad that just, this is kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but whatever. I'm really glad that like wasn't just used as a this is our setup for getting him on a planet, that like for it to make sense that he's on Earth even though he's not normal.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they actually like didn't, like, it wasn't just a one-off thing, because it comes back in movie 2, that whole situation.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So he gets on Earth. He is just living in the woods in like a tree stump or something like that, a cave.
I think it's a cave.
Yeah, he lives in like a cave.
And he just like kind of messes around. He runs around, reads comic books and stuff like that.
He's just a
Plays
little
with
kid.
turtles.
He's a kid, basically.
Yeah. He's just living his life. And then one day he's out playing baseball, and he gets really sad because he's like, damn, I have no freaking friends, after he plays baseball with himself and gets a home run, and he realizes no one gives a shit because no one's there.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
That's also a yeah, I'm just realizing that first movie has some good moments at the beginning of being sad.
Yeah, it does.
So he just like gets really sad and runs around and like explodes from being supercharged, from being so emotional, I guess. I don't know.
Well, he's like running super hard and he like pushes himself.
Yeah.
Doesn't he cause like a
And then
blackout?
he like
An
blacks
EMP
out
blast.
the freaking country, it seems like, and then a satellite even crashes or something. So pretty crazy stuff. And then that leads to like our main thing. He's like, oh man, probably should just go home. He goes home, and then because of this EMP blast, the government's like, yo, what the hell was that? They bring in Eggman.
Eggman is like
Which,
the best part of the first movie, I think.
I agree. He's even one of the top parts of the second movie.
Yeah, but he's like really, really good in the first one.
He is good.
I love Jim
Eggman,
Carrey though. He's such a good
Perfect
actor.
casting for that.
He's the perfect amount of whimsical for it.
Yeah, and he's like, I feel like that's what not the second movie, but that's what the Knuckles show was trying to do. They were just like trying to always be him, but it never worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just the dumb shit they would do, but for some reason the dumb shit Jim Carrey does actually is funny.
I think it's
Isn't
the way
that
you
weird
do
how
the
that
dumb
works?
shit.
Yeah. Isn't that weird how that works though? Like, depending on the actor and depending on like the performance and stuff, like it can actually change how the lines play out and stuff. Like Jim Carrey does it in such like a charismatic way, whereas Wade Whipple was just annoying and stupid about it. Like, I don't know.
Not even Wade. I'm thinking more of like Wade's sister, the dumb shit
She was so annoying.
We didn't even talk about her in that thing, but worst character, if you're wondering. Wade's sister.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, so they bring in Robotnik because they're like, this guy is the smartest guy ever. He'll find whatever's going on, and he's just so freaking funny, man. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
Like,
he is.
I'm just thinking of like his intro scene where he like shits on that army guy for being an idiot.
Yeah. He has some really good lines where he's like shitting on people and like talking shit. Like he just thinks of himself so much higher than everybody. It's so funny.
Oh my god, you know what? I can't remember which movie it's from. Oh, it's from this one. I'll tell you when we get there. So so he's tracking down Sonic. He doesn't know it's Sonic yet, searching the woods with all his drones and stuff. Eventually, he finds like a footprint, I think, and they're like, oh, he's close by. So Sonic runs away to local police officer guy's house, Tom.
Is that his name?
And, yeah. He, like, breaks into this guy's garage to hide. I think it's a garage or a shed or something. And then, guy's like, oh, must be the raccoons, grabs this tranquilizer gun and goes out there. He does. And then he just goes in there, does the classic freak out thing when people see an alien, shoots him on accident. Sonic drops all his rings and
just like the
drops
games.
them through a port. The ring comes out, opens because he's looking at this guy's shirt and he like thinks of San Francisco or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Then all his rings fall through the portal and he's like, fuck. And then he passes out. And that's like the whole point of the movie is he's got to get his rings back because now that they know he's on Earth, he needs to go to a different planet.
Yep, pretty much.
That's like your whole setup. So Sonic's passed out. Guy is freaking out. He puts him in a cage and brings him into his house. And he's like, yo, what the hell is this thing? Sonic just gets out of the cage and he's like, hey, man, I need help. All my rings are fucked. And they have like a little back and forth. It's not bad, actually. I like their relationship. It grows.
Yeah, theirs is pretty good. It's like does enough to not be annoying.
Yeah. Of the human characters, honestly, Tom, obviously Eggman. Eggman is actually like super good. Tom is decent, and so is his wife. Like the two of them, they're like good enough.
They're good normal
and
people.
Eggman is just amazing. Besides that, you don't care about any of the normal people at all.
Yeah, it's better when they're not around.
But so it's funny because like then they're still obviously looking for Sonic. It eventually leads them to Tom's house, and so Sonic's like hiding in the attic. The drones are looking for him. Tom is talking to Eggman at the door, and this is the scene that I'm talking about. That's so freaking funny, where he's like shitting on Tom. I can't remember what he says, but
Eggman when he walks into the house because he pulls up in the huge truck and is telling Tom that he's like with the government or something.
No, he's like, I'm here to inspect the power or something like that. And he's like, oh, you must know my friend or whatever. He's like, yeah, great guy. Okay, let me in or something. But the funny part was he makes some joke about how he was spitting out quadratic formula while Tom was still spitting up formula. And then Tom goes, actually, I was breastfed. And then Eggman goes, oh, nice, rub that in my orphan face.
Yeah, there's some really good ones with Eggman.
He's so funny. He's just so freaking funny, man. His lines are good. Basically, anytime he's shitting on someone, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Rub that in my orphan face.
Yeah, I love Eggman.
That's a good one too.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. I loved it. He has a lot of good ones. I wish I could remember them all. But, yeah, so eventually there's noise because Sonic's like dodging these scanning drones, and Eggman comes in and also sees Sonic. Dude pulls a gun on Tom, and there's like a mini fight there. Tom punches Eggman. Sonic like attacks a drone that goes shooting, and then the two of them run away and like get in a car or some shit.
Yeah, that's when their like adventure on the road begins.
Well, yeah.
There's actually another funny scene here too. It's not like a huge funny thing, but I like it where so like Tom and Sonic get out and they run away, and then Eggman's like right hand guy Stone. He's okay, I guess. I start to like him less the more I see him, but I don't hate him. He like runs in and he's like, "Sir, I just saw they I just saw them get in a car, and I thought," and Eggman goes, "that you should stop them." Tell me that's what you thought.
He shits on Stone the whole time.
I think that's why I like Stone. Not because I actually like Stone, but I like watching him get dogged on.
I like him as he gets bullied.
Yeah.
Everybody needs the one guy that just gets shit on in the group.
Like Bert?
Yeah, that's Bert.
Apparently.
Bert is our Stone.
Well, there you go. They get in their car, they drive off. Eggman gets back in his massive van. He gets some new glasses because they fucked up his glasses. He also, I forgot to mention actually, he also has these like glove controller things, which aren't necessarily cool on their own, but it's just funny the way like Jim Carrey moves to use them. Like it just looks funny.
Oh. I think that's a good... I like the way he acts because of that. Like, I don't know how to describe it, like his movement and stuff, like his body
Yeah, it's
language when he's
definitely funny.
acting. It just does. A
Oh
good
yeah,
job.
yeah. His physical performance
Yes, that's
is
the
like
word.
just as much a part of his Eggman as his like line delivery and stuff.
And I think that's why his line delivery works well, because a lot of it fits with his like character. Because like what
I
he's
agree.
saying is acting, or it's lining up with how he's acting and moving.
Yeah, for sure.
He is a big grab. Without him, I don't think the movies would have done well at all.
Yeah, I think I probably agree.
I think that without him, the best they could be is average.
Yeah, probably. He definitely adds a ton to the first one for sure, and he's really good in the second one too.
I would say he carries the first one, and the second one, he's top 3.
Yeah, I think probably. Yeah.
I'd agree with you.
So I think at this point they get away and they go to like, they're just driving, right? They're trying to argue about, hey, I need your help getting to San Francisco or whatever, which is kind of just the excuse of why doesn't Sonic just run there quick and come back? Because he doesn't know how to get there. I guess, okay, sure. Could have
Give
just
him
given him a map
GPS.
or something.
Even though he literally runs to the West Coast,
What do you mean?
or he remember when he runs in one direction until he hits the ocean?
Yeah, and he didn't find it.
Yeah, I think that's like their way of explaining that.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, I misunderstood.
I was just saying that was their way of saying, why doesn't he just run there?
Oh yeah.
Because he doesn't know where it is. So then Tom's like, fine. He's like, because Sonic's like, oh, it's your fault anyways, so help me out, man. And then they're like, okay, fine. So Tom's helping him. They drive for a day or whatever, eventually stop. I'm starting to realize that the Knuckles show was basically just the first movie, worse.
Way worse. Except it didn't have Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was just, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what the show would have been without Jim Carrey, the Knuckles show. Because it's the same ass plot. Road trip to go to some place, enemy steals Quill.
Pretty much, yeah.
Dang,
And they
you're
they
right.
did have knuckle quills too. They were looking for knuckle quills. All their weapons were powered by knuckle quills.
That's crazy. It's literally the first movie without Jim Carrey.
Dang.
Anyway, so they're driving they stop for like food or some shit at some bar. And it's like a place, I guess, to showcase Sonic's powers is pretty much what it is. Because Sonic is, well, as they're driving, actually, I'm realizing this movie had a lot of like emotional moments. That Tom mentioned something about how he wants to be a more important cop or something, and it's like on his bucket list, and Sonic's like, what's that? It's like, it's a list of things you want to do. And he's like, wow, I should make my own. He starts listing off a bunch of things, and then he gets sad that he'll never get to do them since he's leaving Earth. And then Tom's like, well, let's go do something now then.
Yeah.
So they go to like this bar thing to just get food at a gas station or some shit, and Sonic's like, I want to go in there, and he's like, no, don't go in there. And then he puts on a shitty disguise that would never work and goes in there.
Obviously put a disguise
yeah.
on. Didn't he have a cowboy hat on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And some glasses or something. And like a
So
jacket.
he's in there in like a spinning chair ordering food and stuff. Tom comes in, and Tom ends up being nice and being like, fine, we can stay for a little. And they just have some fun. It's a cool party. At some point, they accidentally get into a fight of some kind for some reason that I can't remember. Someone gets pushed or something.
I think Sonic like bumps into somebody and like spills their drink or something like that.
Yeah, and then
Classic.
you get like basically it just shows how powerful Sonic is, where he like Quicksilver bodies everyone in the room.
Yeah, I love when when movies show super speed in this way.
We're just slowing down everyone. They just speed the speedster up.
Yeah, I always love how that looks. It's one of my favorite parts of that whole sequence too. And you get to see like Sonic is like can literally do anything. He's so fast. At least with like people, normal humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So-
After that, what do they? Where do they go after that? After the bar, don't they just like leave and then the whole bar is like still
They
fighting?
get attacked while they're driving.
Oh yeah. By the egg bots or whatever those things are.
Those drones?
Yeah, but they like turn into different things too. Like, he keeps destroying
Oh,
pieces
yeah.
of it, and it like just keeps coming until it's just like a small little egg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and actually, it's also funny. Like, it cuts back to Eggman as he's doing it. Every time one dies, he's like, "You thought that was the last one,"
Wait until you see my next move. And then the car just strips
and he's
down.
just controlling it all with his little freaking glove thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think it's cool how he engineers his cars.
To have like 4
Yeah.
inside
A
cars.
million
I like
fail-safes.
his mobile command center thing, his little secret base, or like the
Yeah.
moving truck.
It's like that thing in GTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Kinda.
It is a lot like that.
I think it's called the Mobile Command Unit too, or something similar.
Yeah, something like that. But it's actually a pretty cool fight, and Sonic has a moment where he like turns into his ball form and went back before it's destroyed the first time and flips the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. He dashes into it.
And then he runs back. And then at the very end, it turns into this little ball with like a helicopter thing, cuts the roof of their car off, and then Sonic goes to like take it out, and it like sticks to him, and it looks like it's gonna blow up.
Mm-hmm.
So they pull over, and he's trying to get it off. He can't get it off. It's stuck to him. Then they eventually get it off, and Sonic's a dumbass and just stands next to it like, "Yeah, I got it off," and then explodes anyways.
Yeah. I mean,
the
really,
smartest play.
he just needs to get in touch with the Flash. That way, he could have just phased his hand through it by moving it fast,
Or he could have just moved away from it. He literally has super speed.
or that.
That'd make too much sense.
Or just does Sonic wear gloves? Could have just taken his glove off.
Yeah, but I think they are technically gloves, but I think they're attached to him
What? the-
because they never come off.
That's weird.
That is weird. It's like have you guys seen that meme? It's like Toad takes his mushroom off his head and it's just a giant disgusting like mountain of flesh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I hate that.
So Sonic is now
end up at that one lady's
What?
house next.
Yeah, so Sonic's now knocked out, and he's like, "Oh no, Sonic's dead. Luckily, my wife is nearby at her sister's house, and she's a vet, and this Sonic is clearly an animal that any vet could treat."
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
I mean,
close
he's
enough.
technically a hedgehog.
Yeah, so he takes her to her. Everyone freaks out again. Honestly, here's what is annoying about this part, actually. So in the second movie, the sister of the wife is the absolute worst character. But in the first movie, I thought it was kind of funny how they just like kept bodying her, and she only lasted like 5 minutes in the movie.
Yeah.
They just broke into
She
her
was-
house, tied her up, and stole her car. That was funny.
Yeah, I
It was.
thought she was good in the first movie, and then they thought that taking that one good thing and then turning it to 10 in the second movie, and it ends up not working as well at all.
Yeah. And I'll talk about it when we get to the second movie, but I thought it almost worked in the second movie, but then they went an extra like 15 minutes longer than it needed to be.
Mm-hmm. They wouldn't let the joke die.
Yeah. But anyways, so they go to her house, tie her up, and so they're like trying to fix Sonic. And Pretzel Woman, I forget her actual name, but that's what Sonic calls her, is like looking at Sonic, and she's like, "Holy shit, his heartbeat is so fast." He's like, "No, I think that's normal." So they treat Sonic. He wakes up and he runs around, and then they're like, "We got to get to the place." And then there's another cool scene where the like daughter of the worst character from movie 2 that I forget the name of is like, "Yo, your shoes are fucked up," because he runs so much. The bottom of his shoes are fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was a cute scene. I like this one.
You can literally, yeah, I like this too. You can literally see his feet. Like there's no bottom of his shoes. Pretty
And he
much.
walked through the soles of his shoes.
So she gives him a pair of Adidas.
Yeah.
Sonic canonically wears Adidas, I guess.
I like it.
At least in the movies.
That was missed opportunity though, that Adidas didn't come out with like a Sonic shoe after that.
That would have been cool.
You would think that they would do that.
Yeah, right? Unless I just missed it, but that would have been a great moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she gives him his famous shoes that he hasn't had for the whole movie, and you're like, oh, nice, that's the famous shoes, but with Adidas on it.
Yeah, there's Adidas logo.
And then they head to San Francisco, which they're pretty much at. They see the building. Sonic's like, hey, that's the building. Let me go up there and get it. He goes, oh, door's locked, guys. We got to go up together. So then they go into the building. They walk in, whatever, to... They put Sonic in a bag. This part was actually pretty funny, too. They put Sonic in a bag, and since Tom is a cop, he's like, I'm a cop. I need to see the roof. And they're like, really? A cop from that far away? He's like, yeah, it's pretty serious. So they go and get there. They're waiting for the elevator, and Sonic's like talking from in the bag. He's like, can I get out of here now? And these people are sitting next to them. They're like, is that your kid in there? And he goes, no, it's not my kid.
Oh, man, I
And
forgot
then
about
people
that.
just run away.
He doesn't
I forgot
deny that
about
there's
that
a kid
scene.
in the
That's a
bag.
good
He's just
one.
like, it's not my kid.
Yeah, that was a funny
It would have
one.
been better if you said, yeah, it's mine. Because now he's kidnapping.
Yeah, right? Those people just like, they ran away probably to call the cops, which maybe it would have mattered if there wasn't like a huge mech battle 5 seconds later.
True.
Mhm.
But that was a funny scene. So they get him to the top. Actually, I forgot one other thing. After their bar thing, they have like this scene in a, what do you call it? In a hotel where Sonic is like pretty chill. And he's just like running around having fun, and then goes to bed, and Tom notices like on Sonic's list that he wants to make a friend or something. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so back to the building. They get to the top. He's like, hey, my rings. He grabs his rings, and he's like, well, I guess I should go. And it's kind of a sad moment. Him and Sonic are like saying bye. Wife is like, man, you guys are pretty cute, which actually was funny too. The first movie has a lot of funny moments now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it does.
So then Sonic's about to leave. He throws his ring. It hits Eggman, who has now developed technology to use one of Sonic's quills that they found at the beginning that they used to track him originally.
Mm-hmm.
So he can now like harness the energy from a Sonic
He's now
quill
a
to
threat.
fight back. I mean, he was a threat before even.
True.
So he shoots like 1,000,000 missiles, and Sonic's actually popping off at first. He's winning. And this was actually filmed really cool, I think, because it's like the same, like everything's pretty much frozen except Sonic, and he's just like stopping all these bombs and stuff. And as it's doing that, it's showing Eggman's finger like move incredibly slowly because Sonic's moving so fast towards this button until he finally hits the button, and then Eggman is now moving at the same speed as Sonic, which was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was cool.
that was cool.
That was a good
I
touch.
wonder
I don't
how
know
he was
how
able to
he,
keep up at that speed. Because even if...
Yeah, I wonder how he was thinking fast enough.
Yeah, because even if we were to be able to move that fast, we wouldn't be able to think that fast.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like puts him in that reality, you know? It's like a bubble around him instead of just moving that fast.
It's true. Maybe
Yeah.
the computer does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, so Sonic pushes his homies off the building because he's like, I don't want them to get shot. And then he goes and runs after them to try and catch them from falling to their deaths. He gets hit by a freaking missile or some shit because that's when Eggman like gets his speed boost. And then Sonic almost doesn't get them, but manages to throw a ring below them before they die and teleport them into like a barn back in like the original town everything started in.
Mm-hmm. He got them home.
And then Sonic is now running through the city getting shot at by like a super speed Eggman in his egg machine. I forget what it's called.
His egg machine. That's classic Eggman.
And they're just having a fight throughout town and then teleporting through portals, going into other countries and stuff, fighting. Sonic's not even fighting, Sonic's running away. Till they eventually also get back. Well, no, Eggman like blasts Sonic as he throws a ring and he flies into the middle of the original town and is like looking dead. He's pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah.
Only thing able to save him was the power of friendship.
As it does.
It's truly a
So
power.
as everyone sees Sonic dead, everyone in town's like, holy shit. He's actually real, this mythical creature.
Oh yeah, because
The
they had
Blue
this
Devil.
bad drawing of him.
Oh, that
Yeah,
guy. I
the
love
Sinister.
that guy.
The draw-
That guy was funny.
And the drawing was Sonic.
Yeah, it was
That's
Santa.
the funniest part.
Oh, man, that was good.
So now Sonic's dead in the middle of town, and Tom's like, yo, that's fucked up. That guy was my homie. What the hell, man? And then Tom's like standing there like he's gonna fight this giant Eggman, but really he would have just died. And then Eggman has some more funny lines of shitting on Tom right here.
He does go in on Tom a lot.
And then with Tom using the power of friendship, it brings Sonic back to life. And then he starts glowing and he's like, I'm gonna take you out, you stupid idiot. You hurt my friends. And then Sonic just starts pounding on him, going back and forth between all the walls, looking like Lee versus Gara.
It is quite the fight.
It is.
Yeah, and then Tom throws a freaking what do you call it? A ring behind Eggman. Sonic blasts him into another portal, and they send him off planet. And they're like, "We won, we did it!" And then Sonic's like, "And I finally made a friend." And then they all hug and they celebrate. And then that's when the Sonic music should have played, but it doesn't. But it's okay because the movie was still pretty good. And then we're like, "Yeah, that was fun." And then the credits roll, and you're like, "Man, that was pretty good." And then after the credits roll, Tails comes out of a portal in an after credit scene, and you're like, "Holy shit, it keeps going!" And then you're like, "Movie 2 is gonna be lit."
Yeah, that's basically it.
It's Santa Claus.
But that first movie, so let's just talk about it in general then. That first movie does everything that it needed to do to warrant the sequel. Like, it wasn't like
Yes.
groundbreaking in any way, but it was enjoyable enough and like popcorn movie fun enough just to keep everybody interested. And like, I wanted to see the second one. Like, I had a great time, or a fun time at least, when I saw the first one originally.
Yeah, I think it did a really good job of setting up the series while making it an enjoyable first watch. Like, it got off, like, it established characters, but it didn't make it feel like it was like a lecture.
Yeah,
sort of
they
thing.
set the tone. They set the tone for the world. Like, it's kind of jokey and campy and fun in some ways, and then they have like the little bit of seriousness. I think the Knuckles show, the tone for that was like way too hard. The like funny
was too
campy
swing.
shit. Yeah, it was way too hard
Yeah,
that
I
way.
agree.
The movies do a much better job of balancing that out, and I think Jim Carrey helps with that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And it just it also came at a time though when we expected it to be terrible with everything that had been shown previously and just how video game stuff was. So the fact that it was like above average was like, wow, this is amazing, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's one of those movies that is like, I think, a great mix of like for kids but still good enough for all adults.
Yeah,
I agree.
you can still have fun watching it as an adult.
I did.
Yeah, I did too. I had a good time.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
It's a good flick.
Solid flick. But yeah, that's pretty
It's
much
so
it for the
good.
first one. Do we want to get into the second one now?
Yeah, let's make it a little quicker. So, second movie, basic plot, overview time. The basic plot of the second movie. Tails shows up because he saw Sonic do that thing in the first movie where he exploded, and he was like, yo, what the hell? And he starts watching Sonic on the super internet, or however he does it, I don't know.
I think it's
Oh, yeah,
because
that
the
was weird.
explosion set up or set out like
Yeah, I know that.
an
I
energy
already
wave
said
into
that.
space.
That's what I said.
You said the super internet.
I said, how is he watching them?
Oh. Telescopes. I don't know.
I don't. That is not how telescopes work. He wouldn't be seeing
No, I know.
present day Sonic. Wouldn't even be seeing present day.
Maybe he's using the
Whatever.
rings.
Anyways,
Oh, that
he's
would make
using
sense.
super. He's probably using something he made.
Yeah, Tails is a genius. He can make anything. Is basically how they explain all that.
So he saw that and he starts watching Sonic and he's like, "Wow, this guy's crazy cool. I gotta go help him out because Knuckles is after the Master Emerald and he's gonna go attack Sonic." So that's like Tails' whole story. That's how Knuckles' story is. Both of them being led towards Sonic because they're after the Master Emerald. But where we start off is watching Eggman on this other planet trapped and trying to get back. He eventually does by using the Sonic Quill to do another massive explosion, which attracts Knuckles because Knuckles has been looking for Sonic. And then Knuckles basically gets Eggman off. They make a deal. He's like,
Whoa. He
hey.
does what to Eggman?
He says, "Hey, where'd you find that quill?" And then Eggman is like, "Hey, I'll help you find this guy if you take him out for me." They're like, "Deal." He gets him off the planet, and they go back. Then we're at Sonic's place. Man, can someone else talk? I'm getting tired.
I don't even remember everything that happens.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so what happens next? Sonic is at home. He is chilling. Tom and what's her name are going to go to the wedding of the sister that they tied up and stole the car from in Hawaii or some shit. So they teleport out. Sonic's home alone. He plays around and stuff. Eventually, though, then he gets a knock on the door and Eggman's there. Eggman comes in and he's like, "What the hell? Eggman's back? This isn't good." He's like, "But I can beat Eggman again." And then Eggman's like, "Yeah, but what about Knuckles?" And then Knuckles bodies Sonic here. And this is
Knuckles-
a really cool scene.
Yeah, Knuckles' entrance into the verse is like pretty epic. And he's voiced by Idris Elba. Like, it makes it even better. He's voiced by Heimdall from the Thor movies.
Dude, his voice is so deep.
Yeah, I love
And
Idris Elba.
every single animated move that Knuckles makes in this scene is his entirety of the Knuckles show. They reuse it so many times.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
But anyways, someone explain this fight, or you guys
They're
can't do
fighting,
that?
and then I don't know. No, they're just fighting for a while, and then at some point, Sonic gets thrown through the wall.
He does get thrown. Yeah, and the TV actually. Yeah, he gets blasted in one punch. Knuckles throws him through, and then Sonic's like, "What the hell?" Sonic's like, "Man, this is not good. I mean, I can't let you get my power." And he attacks Knuckles, and Knuckles hits him with the "Do I look like I need your power?" and then just slams him into the ground, taking him down
What a cold
instantly. And then Knuckles makes like an offhanded mention or something. He's like,
How he wants the Master Emerald.
"Where's the Master Emerald?" or something, ultimate power. And then Eggman in the background goes, "Ultimate power."
Ooh, interesting.
But he like does it in a funny way.
Yeah, he does.
So you
That
see
is
that
funny.
Eggman's interested. You see that Knuckles is interested in the Master Emerald. He mentioned that, which when I was watching this movie, I was so excited. I was already excited because I was like, Knuckles and Tails are coming into this. That's hype. And then they start talking.
I love the Knuckles lore. I love all that stuff. I wish there was more
and then
of
they
that.
start talking about the Master Emerald, and I'm like, damn, this game or this movie is like really going hard on the game stuff now. I love this.
That's the stuff
is
I liked
cool.
the best.
So, just as it looks like Knuckles is about to defeat
Our boy
Sonic,
Tails comes
Tails
in.
blasts him with a police car.
Dude, it's like that's how they did it in Percy Jackson in the books. They hit Medusa with a car.
Yeah, well, you can't just take on Knuckles.
Yeah,
Especially Tails. Tails can't take on anyone.
that's true. You gotta just use a car.
So, Tails blasts Knuckles with a police car, and then he's like, Sonic, get in. I actually love Tails too. Like, everyone gives Knuckles a lot of props in this movie, which he is great, but I think Tails is perfect as well.
Yeah, Tails
And
is
that's
good.
Tails and Knuckles in the games have been done so dirty in the last like 10 years. Tails is always a crying bitch that can't do anything on his own, and Knuckles is always an absolute dumbass moron.
Yeah, they're neither of those things
Yeah,
in these
thank
movies.
God. They brought it back to like the Sonic Adventure era where Knuckles was wise and strong, and Tails starts off weak but grows to be strong and does things without Sonic. And I'm kind of hoping we get like a little more of that arc for Tails in the third movie. Like in Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic kind of dies and everyone thinks he dies, and that's when Tails like steps up at that point and he like holds things down while people
Yeah.
think Sonic is dead.
Yeah, there's got to be some little bit of character development going on in that third one. I
Especially
hope, for
Tails,
the trio, because we didn't really get any character development for
Tails
Knuckles
even
in the
less.
Knuckles show.
Knuckles got it all in this movie though.
Yeah, his is the best in that movie.
So Tails gets a little bit actually, but I don't think he's like midway through what is normally his arc. So hopefully they continue on it. But so Tails saves Sonic. Sonic and Tails go off. He's talking. Tails gives him the exposition. He's like, That's Knuckles, the strongest warrior in the galaxy, the last of the Echidna clan. He's trying to reclaim the Master Emerald." And then you're like, damn, that's pretty crazy.
He's a pretty
This
crazy
guy's a
guy.
badass.
I want more Master Emerald. We didn't even really
What do you
see
mean?
it.
We literally saw him use it.
Yeah, but that's it. Then it just
They
disappears.
still have it.
Yeah, but I want to know more about it. Why is it so important?
This
And why does
tribe was
Knuckles
supposed
care
to
so
protect
much?
it.
Yeah, it's definitely different from the games. In the games, the Master Emerald is what keeps Angel Island in the air, and once it's stolen, his island crashes to the ground.
It is
That's
cool.
epic.
But that does not seem to be the case in the movie. Also, the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald are different normally. They're not the same thing like in the movie. The Chaos Emeralds are used to protect the Master Emerald, but in the movie, the Master Emerald is made from the Chaos Emeralds, which is very weird.
It is.
Interesting.
Bit of lore.
So, yeah, Tails saves Sonic, and they're like running away from Knuckles. Knuckles is keeping up with them, busting through cars, killing people. Probably, I don't
Yeah,
see
I
how
wanna
he's
know-
not, because he's just.
How many people just passively died in these movies?
Yeah, last movie Eggman was bombing
It's
the
the passive
streets, and in
kill
this
count.
movie Knuckles is just blowing up cars, running straight through them
That's funny.
until they're just running away. They get to a cliff, and Tails is like, "Good thing I can fly." He flies with Sonic. There's also just because this I like just because it's something that happens so much in movies, and I'm like, what a dumb thing to say, and they kind of mention that where Tails is like, "Quick, drive off that cliff" or some shit, and then Sonic's like, "What?" And he's like, "Do you trust me?" And Sonic's like, "No, I just met you."
Yeah, I am happy they did that.
And then Tails just throws him out of
Yeah,
the car
that's good.
anyways and flies away. And they escape Knuckles.
Yeah.
For now.
Knuckles, yeah. And then Eggman pulls up in a lawnmower. Like, damn it.
Dude, Eggman is such a guy. He's so funny.
He is so good. And then he like pulls a button. This is another funny scene. His like all his drone things pull up on well, first he calls in his like drop pod of his freaking fit so he can get dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
So a drop pod comes in, he gets
He's
all
like
dressed
Iron
up.
Man.
And this is a cool thing about these movies, and I actually saw Jim Carrey himself say this. He said that in every one of the Sonic movies, he's like gone to them, I want to look more like Eggman.
Yeah.
Like he said his ultimate goal is he wants to be the fat Eggman with the huge mustache.
By the end.
So in this movie, they managed to give him the mustache.
I wonder how they're going to make him fat. Maybe from stress
Yeah.
eating. From having to manage with Sonic.
So I'm hoping he
No, that
gets
would
his
be
way
good.
and he gets to be full Eggman in the last one. But in
would
this
be
one, he gets his
something.
mustache, his goggles, and his outfit, which he did not have in the first one, and his little pod thing too. He also gets that. So he gets all dressed up, and he's looking
Yeah.
the most like Eggman he ever has. All his drones are back, and he like sends them at Knuckles, and he's like, "You mentioned ultimate power." Knuckles is like, "The Master Emerald does not concern you." And then he's like, "I think we should have an alliance. If I help you find that emerald, you use it to kill that stupid hedgehog." And then he like pulls his drones on Knuckles, and he's like, "You think these stupid drones can stop me? I'll destroy them." And he goes, "Oh wait, there's stairs." Then he climbs up them. So then they make a
Classic.
deal. They go to shake hands, and Knuckles destroys his hand.
Because he's
He just built it.
freaking jacked.
He works out his
So they made a
forearm.
deal. He's like, "Let's go back to my home, and we will, or to my coffee shop, and we'll plan our move on the how to
Oh, yeah.
track down the Master Emerald and Sonic."
Wasn't Stone
And what's cool
the
about this,
barista of this
actually-
movie?
Kind of. What's cool though, their coffee shop is called the Mean Bean, which is pretty funny because there's actually a Sonic Bejeweled type game. You know Bejeweled, right?
Yeah.
Called Eggman's Mean Bean Machine, which is like a coffee-based Bejeweled
That's
game.
a cool call back.
Yeah, it's a good reference, I thought.
Mhm.
I would have never known that.
It's a cool. Yeah, I think it's a cool reference.
Yeah, it is.
So they go back to track Sonic. Then we're switched back to Sonic and Tails, and they're like, "Yo, what the hell? That was crazy." Sonic and Tails are bonding, and then what happens? They go to Wade's house, actually. Oh, Wade. They go to freaking Wade's house.
Classic
Now-
Wade.
Wade's comments were stupid, but the scene itself was good here because they get to Wade's house and they're like, "Yo, what the hell do we do?" Sonic's like, "The Master Emerald." I thought that was just like a bedtime story or some shit because I guess it's just common knowledge to aliens that they're used to. It's like a mythical thing. The Master Emerald is what it seems like.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, actually.
Well, it's like the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, pretty much. And
That's what they make
Yeah.
it seem like.
so they're like talking about it in Wade's garage, and then Sonic he like remembers something on his map that Longclaw gave him that shows him the different planets,
Oh, yeah.
and he notices there's like this picture of the emerald or some shit, and he's like, maybe this is how we find it. And then somehow it turns into like a hologram of Longclaw telling him that he was like destined to save the world and protect the Master Emerald.
A lot of responsibility
Pretty
for
cool,
a kid.
actually. And also, what's cool about this, and we totally forgot to mention it, at the very beginning of the movie, first opening scene, Sonic is like trying to be a superhero, going around town stopping crimes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like doing a terrible job and destroying shit.
Oh, I totally
And,
forgot about that part.
Tom is like, "Hey man, you got to stop doing that. Like, eventually we'll need you, but like, chill, you know." He gives him like the meaningful speech of like, "You're important, but it'll come," you know.
Not right now.
Yeah.
And then at this moment, Sonic's like, "It's coming. It's finally happening." He's like, "And finally, this is my chance. I'm gonna do it. I'm a hero." So they said, "What?"
And he wants to be. He wants to be
and
a
it's
hero.
pretty sad, actually. The what do you call it? The hologram thing with Longclaw telling him that, and then she's like, "I love you" or whatever, and then he gets sad because she's dead.
Yeah. That whole man, I want to know what the heck happened with all of that, because all of Knuckles' clan is dead, and
a
it
huge
seems
war
like the
happened
owls
that
are
we
dead
just
too.
didn't get to see.
So like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. I wish I
who
could
the fuck
tell
won
you
that?
because in the games the owls don't exist and Knuckles' clan is wiped out by chaos.
Maybe Chaos
I
destroyed
think
both
they just
of them.
destroyed each other.
Well, we'll
I would
never
like
know.
it more if Chaos was involved, because Chaos is the second best enemy after Shadow. But anyways,
Yeah.
so they're like, all right, let's set out. We have this map. It says to go to like Siberia or some shit. So they teleport out to Siberia. Tails is like, this is kind of close, but we don't know the exact location. I have this super tracker that I made. Let's move. They're walking through the snow, completely lost, have no idea what they're doing.
As usual.
I actually love Tails. Tails is so cool. Tails he's just like a homie. He's just trying his best.
He's just doing what he can.
And he's not like some freaking legend like Sonic and Knuckles, you know?
Yeah.
So
He has his
he
toys,
really
though.
is just doing what he can.
He has his toys at least.
Yeah, so he's leading them, and they're like, we're totally lost. The storm is blocking my device. So they stop in some random cabin. And I actually thought this was kind of funny at first. It was like ridiculous, but funny enough. Where like with the old lady with the skull like knitting and all these deadly looking people. Then it became cringe for a
yeah.
second when it became a dance off. But it wasn't too bad, I guess. Should have been a Sonic song though, not Uptown Funk,
Another missed opportunity.
right? Anyways,
What are you
yeah,
gonna do?
so this scene is kind of dumb. Not like ruining the movie or anything, but just seems kind of pointless. They had a dance. I guess it had a point. They have a dance off. Tails is scared. Sonic's like, bro, I got you. And they bond over it. So, like, Tails realizes he can actually do shit, which is pretty cool. I did like that. And then, Sonic and Tails have a good conversation after where Tails is telling him, he's like, everyone used to bully me on my planet because I had two tails, and they used to beat the shit out of me. And then one day I saw you, and I was like, what the hell? We can actually do things. And he's like, you're the weirdest person in the entire universe, and you saved your whole village. And he's like, you inspired me.
A compliment.
It was a pretty good scene. I actually really liked it.
Wow.
No, but
That's
I'm
funny.
serious. I actually liked it because Tails actually looks up to Sonic a lot, and at least this Sonic. Normally, Sonic is always like pretty confident, but this Sonic is like, wow, he actually looks up to me. That's crazy. Maybe I am important. It's a
Yeah.
good scene, and then that's where I think that is a scene that makes you believe like Sonic and Tails are actually friends. You know.
Yeah.
So good scene, needed to happen, but it probably didn't need to be a dance off. Yeah, so then the next day they get up, the storm's gone, they find the thing they needed with Tails' tracker. It's like this owl-based cave. Giant owl statue releases a, what do you call it, compass that is supposed to lead them to the Master Emerald. And they're like, yay, we got it. And then Tails gets a freaking sniper laser on his head.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's hilarious, though. Just seeing Tails with imagine someone just 50 cals him through the brain.
That's like a skit on YouTube or something that you'd see.
Yeah.
So Knuckles
definitely.
and Eggman show up. It's a big fight. They blow up the whole cave. They escape the cave. And then we get awesome scene. Literally a level out of Sonic 3. The snowboard scene. The snowboard level from Sonic 3 and Sonic Adventure 1. Both have a level like this. So that was cool that they just straight grabbed a level and made it a scene.
It is cool, actually.
Yeah, that is cool.
And yeah, they're going down the mountain, dodging shit. Tails is flying, Sonic's snowboarding, Knuckles is snowboarding after Sonic, and it's probably one of the top scenes. Second top, actually. Very good stuff. It's a fight back and forth. There's a bunch of drones. Sonic beats up the drones. Knuckles is like talking to him, telling Sonic how he needs the Master Emerald. He's like, my whole clan died for this. I've been training my whole life. And like Sonic is like slowly getting more of the story, like realizing things about Knuckles. And then they get to like the edge of a cliff or some shit. Sonic gets punched off his snowboard, and Knuckles is like got him there. He's down, and he's like, Sonic realizes that Knuckles, he might not be that bad of a guy. And he's like, hey, my whole family got destroyed and killed too. And then Knuckles is like, what? And they're actually like having a conversation, which seems like they don't hate each other,
That's true.
And then Tails doesn't know this and comes in and ties Knuckles up, and Knuckles is like, you lied. This is bullshit. And then Sonic is like, no, please.
Yeah.
And then Sonic throws the compass thing to Tails. He's like, Tails, get out of here. I'll deal with Knuckles. Because he wants to just talk to Knuckles. But then Eggman blasts Tails with a freaking rocket and takes the compass.
Yeah,
Tails is down.
That was tragic.
I was like, Tails, no. Not
I'm a little
Tails.
scared here, I'm not gonna lie.
Tails is freaking out.
Classic
and then
Bert.
Sonic is like, oh no, Tails. And he just ignores the compass and he goes, Tails, no. Runs to him, and then I like that you can see Knuckles' reaction to these things too. He's like, what? He went to help the fox?
Yeah, well, he doesn't
That's weird.
understand French.
Especially because there's
Yeah.
a scene earlier where Eggman's like, let's go get Sonic. We'll just ditch Stone. And he's like, abandoning a friend is not honorable or some shit. So he didn't like what Eggman was doing.
Oh,
and then when he
yeah.
saw Sonic go help Tails, he's like, that's interesting,
Oh, yeah. Who's really the good guy?
So he's paying attention. Someone's cutting grass outside my window. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I
anyways,
can hear that too.
Yeah, Tails is bodied. Eggman and Knuckles have the compass and they fly out. Sonic is like, yo, I am fucked. All my rings just flew off this mountain. I have no rings to get out of here. And that rocket now caused a freaking avalanche. So he grabs Tails, throws him over his shoulder, gets a new piece of scrap from one of the destroyed robots and starts snowboarding, calls his homie back in Hawaii. And he's like, hey, I need you to use that ring to save my life. And here is the most controversial part of this movie. And I think it was almost good and then wasn't, right? I'll tell you the point that it turns to bad, but so far it's still good. He's like, oh man, I need you to save me. Guy's like, bet, I'll save you. His phone rings. It's a Sonic song, finally. He interrupts the wedding a couple times with his phone ringing, and then he walks away, and he's like, okay, I'll save you. He throws his ring to try and save Sonic. Turns out it's the wrong ring. He actually gave it to like the little ring bearer girl on accident, and she thinks it's a wedding ring. So he's got to go steal the ring and ruin the wedding. And I was actually fine with that because I thought it was funny in the first movie when that woman got bodied all the time. And I thought it was kind of fun. Like, because in this point, it's been going on for like a minute, right? He then takes the ring, ruins the wedding, throws the ring, saves Sonic. Whole wedding's ruined. He punched the guy in the face. And then this Sonic comes through. The whole wedding is destroyed with snow. Hilarious. That was funny, I thought. And then it should have ended.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. No, it definitely went
Yeah,
on a little
I
too
agree.
long.
She got bodied for 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes. It was hilarious. And it was still funny, actually, when afterwards they're all tied up. Or not tied up. So Sonic comes through, and then you realize everyone in the wedding is a gun agent, and she was part of Operation Catfish. It was a fake wedding. I actually thought that was funny, too. That was really funny, I thought.
I think
Yeah,
too,
I
actually.
forgot that was a part of that.
The whole wedding was fake. The priest had a gun in his Bible. I thought that was hilarious. So then the gun captures Sonic. What they should have done here, though, is let Tails be free and Tails free Sonic. You know?
Yeah, that
Because they
could
didn't
have
even
been better.
capture Tails. They captured Sonic and they captured Tom. And they just left Tails there for some reason. I guess because he was buried or some shit. I don't know. Tails
Yeah,
is knocked out still. He's dead. So what should have happened at this point is Tails should have freed Sonic, and then we should have continued with how the movie went. But instead, we got that would have been great because it was funny. The girl who got bodied last movie got bodied again, and it was funny. She got Operation Catfished. That's hilarious, and her whole wedding was ruined. That was funny. Instead, what we got was Tom and Sonic and Tails are taken away, and then sister and wife go on a mini mission with Tails things to free them. And it goes on for like 10, 15 minutes, and then the girl, what's her name's wife's sister, just turns into like this crazy monster, blows up a golf cart and shoots some guy with a taser. Like, it just gets insane.
It gets out of hand.
does.
The worst part of the movie. And what sucks is like the first, minute or two of it was funny as hell. If it would have just stopped there, good. And you could have given Tails a good time to like do a miniature, like now Tails does something for Sonic.
Yeah, true. That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. It's like, you don't need to develop the wife's sister. Develop Tails.
Yeah, definitely true.
So that right there is the part of the movie that I don't like. If that was different, would have been God tier. Luckily that after this scene, the movie like picks up so aggressively hard to like top tier levels,
Oh yeah, this part does it cool here.
Yeah, freaking they break Sonic out by being, I don't know, brides or some shit. It's stupid. But okay, once Sonic's out, it's good again. Him and Tom have a conversation. He's like, Sonic's all sad. He's like, I had my moment and I ruined it. I messed up. That little fox, he almost died because of me. I fucked everything up. And then he's like, I have to go stop them. Eggman and Knuckles are at an island, which luckily happens to be close to Hawaii or close enough to where they can see it happening,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Sonic's like, okay, I gotta go stop them. And then he goes and runs away. Tails is like, no, but he's too weak. He can't help Sonic. And then Sonic has a really badass scene because Sonic is known in the games for not being able to swim, and in the movie it's been mentioned a lot of times too. And he has to get to this island, so he's like looking over this huge ocean, and he's like, I just gotta. He says the line actually.
I have the need. I don't know what he said.
No, he says he's got to go
Oh
fast.
yeah, I'm thinking of Lightning McQueen.
That's not Lightning McQueen.
That's not Lightning's line either. Lightning says he is speed.
Oh yeah,
I am speed.
I prefer Kachiga.
Kachiga.
Lightning McQueen's thing is Kachow, right? And then Chick Hicks is Kachiga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so Sonic then just like full speed, super speeds, and starts running over the ocean, which is badass.
it is pretty cool.
He's really stepping up finally. For some reason, these waves are massive. It's a bad time out there. He barely gets to the island, floats up on the shore, and he's like, okay, I made it. And then he goes into the hidden temple, which also cool, a level straight out of Sonic 2. So, also badass. So he goes into this temple. Eggman and Knuckles have a scene in here too, which is pretty funny, where they're running through the temple and like narrowly dodging traps. That shit was funny, I thought.
Yeah, that's
Eventually, they both meet up at the Master Emerald, and we have an awesome fight between Knuckles and Sonic again, where they're fighting. And at first, what I think is cool about this fight too is that like really no one won. Kind of. I guess maybe, I think if you were to, you could maybe say Knuckles won, but it seemed pretty even this time. So at first, Sonic's just dodging a bunch. He gets hit by Knuckles. Knuckles beats the shit out of Sonic for a little bit. And then there's like a cool scene where they do another like hit at the same time type of thing. Like where they both ran into each other at like full speed, and Knuckles got pushed back this time because I guess Sonic's pushing himself a little harder now. But eventually Knuckles hits him, knocks him down, and then he starts climbing the steps, and Sonic like speed blitzes from the side and destroys the steps. You remember that one? And then he just pounds Knuckles into the ground. It was really good. It was a good fight. Pounds Knuckles into the ground.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, Sonic actually beat Knuckles. But then Knuckles just jumps out of the ground and punches Sonic down. And at this point, like, you could maybe say Knuckles won, but I don't think the fight was over. And then Sonic is like, hey, Eggman's stealing the emerald.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that neither of them won because it lets them both seem powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
So then he doesn't believe him. He's like, no, seriously. And then Eggman's grabbing it. And then Knuckles is like, what? We had a deal. I thought we were friends. And, like, Knuckle actually thought they were friends, which is kind of sad. And then Eggman just dog shits on him. What does he say? He's like,
poor Nux.
a being with an intellect, with any normal intellect or some shit, would have seen this coming.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Tragic. And then he absorbs the emerald, teleports away, blows up the whole temple. The whole temple starts collapsing, and a giant column lands on Knuckles. And then the whole thing starts flooding. And then Sonic's like, I gotta get out of here. And he sees Knuckles dying. He's like, fine, I guess I'll go save him. And he helps him lift the column off of him. And then Knuckles is like, good, let me swim away. And then Sonic can't swim, so he's just drowning down there. And then he dies. And then the movie's over.
The end. And Sonic 3 is his funeral.
That's it. Just kidding. Knuckles comes back and saves him.
He's a changed
Saves him.
echidna.
Then they have a cool moment on the beach. Sonic's like, why'd you save me? He's like, you saved me first. Clearly it gave you a tactical advantage that I do not understand. Knuckles is funny as hell. I love Knuckles.
He is. He is funny.
So basically they talk about how they both got bodied, lost their whole families, and they bond over that. He's like, we're both the last of our people.
Of their kind. Yeah.
He's like, let's make a new order of heroes. And then they're like, but how do we get out of here? And then Tails shows up in the tornado. I could not believe the tornado was in this movie. That was awesome.
His plane?
Oh yeah, that is a cool moment. That is a really cool moment.
And what's even cooler about that, man, I wish you guys have played the games, but Sonic 2, second Sonic game, is famous for its ending where Sonic takes out Eggman in his like massive death egg, which is like the Death Star. And he destroys the whole thing, and he's falling, and he's gonna die because he's destroyed it, and now he's falling back to Earth. And then Tails pulls up in the tornado and catches him, and then that's how the game ends. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how it ends.
It ends with you like you're falling, and it's sad music, but you won, and it's like the game's over. And then Tails pulls up, and you're like, hell yeah, it's Tails in the tornado. And that's kind of, I think, what this was a reference to.
Oh, wow.
But what's cool about this was when I was watching the Sonic and Knuckles fight, I was like, this is the final fight of the movie. This is how it ends. And I'm liking it. This is good. But then we get like almost like a whole nother section that was legendary. You know? So Tails pulls up in the tornado, picks the boys up. They're all flying back into town. Eggman is like building a massive egg bot. There's a name for that thing. I forget what it's called though, because it's the boss and final level of Sonic 2. He builds that thing, and then he's like, over Green Hills, the town looks fucked. And then they fly in on the tornado, the three of them this time, and it's freaking awesome seeing all three of them.
It is cool.
And and there's a funny little scene. Tails is like, sorry I hit you with that car. To Knuckles. I really like Tails. I've always liked
funny.
Tails. He gets a bad reputation because of the games being shit.
Yeah, he does. But Tails is good.
So they all pull in, and Sonic's like, all right, we need a plan. And then Knuckles just dives off. And he's like, okay.
Knuckles is him. He's built
So then
diff.
Sonic's like, all right, we'll do this together, Tails. And then Sonic gets blasted by a rocket. He also falls off. Tails does some crazy maneuvering in the sky, dodging all these rockets. So then all three of them go for their strongest attacks. Knuckles goes in with a super punch. Eggman, like, flicks him. But Knuckles actually punches Eggman, and Eggman's like, wow, I actually felt that one. Whereas when Tails uses like a million rockets, he doesn't feel anything, and then he uses his mustache smasher to smash the wing off of Tails' plane. So Tails crashes down. Sonic does like his charge rocket throw. He throws some rockets back. The only one he felt though was Knuckles, which is I thought pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
So then
I
after
love
they then
Knuckles.
Knuckles is like, we all used our strongest attacks and nothing. They realize they have to work together. They're all standing in the street. It's literally the scene from Avengers 1 where they're all in the street of the destroyed city. And then they're like fighting as the camera spins around them. That's literally what happened right now. But I don't know, man. Like, for some reason with the Sonic characters, it just feels so good because of their like bright colors, and you see like the yellow, red, and blue.
Yeah, it's a cool contrast.
So all three of them are like fighting right next to each other as they're developing a plan. They realize that Eggman's weak against Sonic, so Sonic's like, I'll distract him while you guys get in there and try and get the emerald out of him. So they all run in together side by side, and it's really cool. They do like this combo attack where Knuckles throws Ball Sonic at some robots, and then Tails grabs him and spins him around, killing some more. It was really cool. This is a Sonic Heroes reference. That's their Sonic Heroes Ultimate, if you didn't know.
I never would have known
Cool
that.
reference, though.
It is.
There's a lot of references in this movie that are really good. That's why I was like, holy shit, it's great. So they go in, Sonic leads Eggman out of town, I guess, so he doesn't just destroy all the buildings and everyone in town. That scene is so freaking good, man. I love seeing all three of them. But anyway, Sonic leads him out of town to a bridge. Eggman bodies Sonic. He's on the ground, like, dying. Looks like it's over for Sonic. And then Knuckles and Tails get in there. And Tails makes a bunch of clones of himself with his hologram thing to distract Eggman. Eggman starts bodying them all and blasts Tails. He falls to the side. And Tails is like, I was just a distraction, you stupid idiot. And then Knuckles punches Eggman, blasting the Master Emerald out of him. Reference to Sonic 3, where Knuckles blasts all the Chaos Emeralds out of Sonic, which is like known as Knuckles' strongest feat to be able to knock the Chaos Emeralds out of a Super Sonic.
That is something I
Didn't know
also
that
did not
either.
know again. That's pretty impressive too.
So Knuckles
crap.
has some strong feats. I mean, he knocked the freaking Master Emerald out of someone. Normally you can't even touch Super Sonic, and he knocked them out of him. And he did the same thing with Eggman in this movie.
Wow.
So then the emerald falls out
Wow,
on
yeah.
the ground.
Impressive.
Sonic's like, I see it. I have to go get it. Knuckles and Tails fall out, and they're like kind of far away now. Eggman switches to reserve power because his robot still works, but it's just not as good, and he can't control. He's not Magneto anymore. So they're like racing to the emerald.
Magneto.
And then Sonic's like, I can't, gotta get the emerald. And he just barely grabs it, but then Eggman's about to step on him. But then Tom and wife girl that I forget the name of save him. And this was actually a pretty good moment. They save him in a random truck that they stole, drive away. And they're like, we got the emerald, we're safe. And then Eggman flips their car, blasts them. They flip, they're gonna die. He goes to step on them, and you're like, it's over. They're all gonna die. He steps on him, and then Tails is like, no, Sonic. They died. It's over. But then Sonic goes Super Sonic. He absorbed the Chaos Emeralds that were within.
This was
I
epic
did not
when
think
this
Super
happened.
Sonic was gonna happen in this movie.
Neither did I.
Yeah, I thought that
It
shit
was so
epic.
freaking cool. He went Super Sonic. He flew through the foot and then just absolutely destroyed Eggman's robot, bodied the shit out of him, and then tapped him over, launched him. Eggman assumed dead, but definitely not. He took them out. Sonic is the strongest being in the galaxy. He's like, I could do anything. So he summons some chili dogs and then returns the emeralds back to the Master Emerald. And then then Knuckles and Tails are like, you were the strongest being in the galaxy. Why would you give that up? He's like, 'cause I just want to be a kid.
Just want to be a kid.
Then they all
What an
become friends.
ending.
And then God tier call back to the first movie. They go and play baseball, and he doesn't have to play alone.
Aw.
He has his
And
family.
they actually get to play. And Knuckles wins.
It's really beautiful.
He doesn't even use the bat. He just punches the freaking baseball. Almost kills Tails. Tails has to like duck, and it just flies through the scoreboard and into the woods.
Yeah.
And then Knuckles like, I have won at base of ball.
I love Knuckles. He's my
Yeah, me
favorite
too.
character. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Sonic 2. That leads us into Sonic 3, which comes out later this year. We'll all see that and talk about it on the pod
It's so
eventually
good,
once it's
dude.
out.
Like, I love, and then they all live together too. So that's like looking like where we're gonna start from the next one is they've all bonded, and somehow Shadow's gonna come into this. Maybe Eggman will come back first. I don't know, but
yeah, definitely
let's
going to
give
be
our
interesting.
ratings for the two movies, and then we'll wrap it up real quick.
For the first one, I'd probably give it like a 6.
That's what I was thinking.
I think it's just above
Good,
average.
not amazing.
I think I agree. 6.
I think I would give this.
Yeah.
It's hard for the second one because if it was just based off of that last act with all three of them being together, the supersonic and stuff, that's like a 9. Overall, maybe an 8. I could see it going to 7 or 8, but I'm gonna go 8 just because I'm a Sonic fan.
I figured you were probably going to go 8. I'm going to go 7.
I'm gonna say
I think
7.5.
it's 7 for Sonic 2.
And
Yeah.
it could possibly be my biggest disappointment of the year because I am honestly expecting 3 to be better than 2 with Shadow being in it. Like, usually you're like,
Yeah, that's
it'll probably
reasonable.
it'll probably be good, but there's no way it'll be better than the last one. I'm expecting it to be better.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least same
Yeah.
quality, but without anything
Yeah.
like that wedding.
That's fair.
Yeah. I definitely am expecting it to be better than the second one. So if it's not, I would be
Annoyed.
kind of disappointed as well.
I want it to be better.
I mean, you always want it to be better, but sometimes you see a movie and you're like, oh, I expect it to be pretty good, but probably not as, like, what's a good example? You see Endgame, right? You're like, holy shit, that was God tier. And then you go to see Shang-Chi, you're like, yeah, it'll probably be good, but it's no Endgame.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
this one,
true.
I'm like, nah, this is the one. This is the movie. Like, if someone's like, no Sonic movies exist, and they're like, we're making a Sonic movie, the one I want to see is this one. Sonic and Shadow, Sonic Adventure 2. That's the one I want to see.
Yeah.
So, exciting stuff. For me, 6 to 8. You said 6 to 7. Bert said 6 to 7.5. Cool stuff. That's it for this one. We're wrapping it up quick. We have a lot to do. See ya.
Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Bye.
See you guys on the next one.
Keep it salty.
Send us home, Bert.